Welcome back to the Dex and Randi Show, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. You're coming up next. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Dex and Randi Show. I'm your host, Dex. I'm excited as always to have you guys back with us for another episode. I believe today's episode is episode 48.
Yes,
Look
good.
at that. See that? I'm on point.
That's because I put it on your calendar.
It don't matter how I know. It's all good. This episode 48, Dex and Randi Show, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life, the good and the bad. We got a lot to talk to you guys about today. But before we get into anything, as always, I got my beautiful, keep me on my toes, real, you know what I'm saying? My companion, my wife, my friend, my business partner, everything. All wrapped up in one. What's up?
Hey, everybody. I am Randi, the co-host of the Dex and Randi Show. Welcome.
Hey, babe, before we get into anything, you know what I mean? As always, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor that makes all of this happen. You know what I mean? 48 times in a row now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with that?
So, shout out to our sponsors, Basden Accounting LLC, the number one accounting, payroll, advisory, tax firm in the United States of America. And whatever your business needs are, I promise you that Basden Accounting can help you, whether it's financial or not. I mean, we have grown and grown in so many different areas. And I'm saying we because Dex and Randi own it. But we have figured so many things out just based on the needs of our clients. And it's a business that we are really proud of. Tax season is around the corner. So Miranda Basden, that would be me, Randi, is a tax expert, well-versed in all the new tax law updates for 2024 tax season that's coming up. So please reach out to us at basdenaccounting.com, BASDEN accounting.com.
Let me tell you something. You have to do all these sponsorship drops every episode. I be doing it, but you put a little bit more feeling in it. You know what I'm saying? And it's your voice too. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
But anyway, yes, Basden Accounting sponsors of the Dex and Randi Show. We got another great show for you guys today. We had another set of experiences that we want to share with you guys, both the ups and downs of life, and we want to hear from y'all and connect with you guys. But anyway, this week has been an eventful week. I'm feeling better this week. I was a little down last week. I was sick. I was dealing with some cold, flu type symptoms, whatever the case may be. I ain't 100% yet, but I'm feeling better than I have in like a week and a half. So I'm happy to be here with you.
You know what? You look better too.
I do?
Yeah, I think for the whole time we've been together, that's the longest you've been down.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or whatever. Wait, look, whatever it was then, it had me down, but I'm feeling good and I'm glad to be here with you guys. And there's been a lot of ups this week. It's been a lot of good things this week that I got to make sure that we share with you guys. You know what I mean? So not number one, but the first thing happened today. I'm excited about this. Our son Christian made the basketball team. You know what I'm saying? So we got the email from the school. He was real nervous. He tried out for basketball. And we got the email today to say that he made the basketball team. So now we got to get all the information, practice and all that. But he made the team. And I had to pick him up real quick from school to take him to the dentist, get his retainer put in. Just seeing his face when I told him that he made the basketball team.
How'd you tell him?
I just told him, I said, hey, I got some good news. And he was just like, what? And I was like, my son made the basketball team. And then he paused for a second. He was just like, what? He was like, but the list hasn't come out yet. I was like, nah, I got the email that you made the team. And he just went crazy. Because I could tell that he didn't think he was going to make it. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nothing better when you are having some doubt in yourself and you're not sure, you know, you want something real bad, but you don't want to get your hopes up. Like I could tell he was going through all those emotions, but to get the news that he made it, I was happy to give that to him. And just as a father, like it makes me feel good to just watch him go through life and be rewarded the way that he's being rewarded. You know what I'm saying? Like his experience as a kid is amazing. And it feels good to be able to show up for him, celebrate him. You know, I'm not missing out on anything, and just watching him grow and achieve things is like the greatest feeling. Like I feel like not me, excuse me, but I know that we are doing our job, you know what I'm saying, as parents, to be able to watch him try and fall and get up and challenge himself. And he's had a year of going outside of his usual comfort zone and trying things. He's did cross country, you know what I'm saying? Now he's trying out for basketball. He made the team. He's not the most aggressive physical kid, but he's trying. So just kind of watching him, you know what I'm saying, grow through that. It's been cool, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah. So how you feel about your son playing basketball?
I feel good. And I stay pushing him.
Yo, Randy loves sports. Randy loves sports. You know what I'm saying? She likes a little competition for no reason.
I like to watch my children play. He's being sarcastic, guys. I'm really not into sports like that, but I do enjoy watching them. I enjoyed the cross country. I enjoy watching them play soccer, and it's going to be good to see him play basketball. So, but yeah, I stay pushing him outside his comfort zone with the sports stuff. So I'll just try it, see how you do.
Yeah, but I know he's going to want to come in and tell you all about it. So that was good this week, you know what I mean? So keep encouraging us, you know what I'm saying? Encourage our son. We're going to have stories for you guys about basketball games. It's a new element in his life. But if you guys have got kids at home, you've been through that experience of watching them try out for things and make it or not make it, you know it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So tell us about that. If you got a kid, they made volleyball, they made basketball, they made the soccer team, like tell us about them experiences. Like these might seem like little things, but in the eyes of a kid, this is huge. You know what I mean? Especially as you're growing. So we want to hear about it. We want to celebrate y'all, congratulate y'all. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you congratulate us and our son. You know what I'm saying? But what's been going on good with your week? I've got tons of things, so I don't want to dominate, you know? What's good with Randy? Besides how good you're looking, you feel me? I'm
Thank
serious.
you.
What's up with you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, well, you know what? I've been having some work done on your mom's house.
Hey, Randy's is my mama house. It is my mama house. You know what I'm saying? But Randy's the one that is taking the lead of making things happen. So what's been going on?
The work is getting done. That's all I can say. And it looks really, really nice. And I feel like I'm in my element. Yeah, I love it. I love seeing something go from like old to modern. So basically, his mom's home, not much has been done to it. It's a beautiful home, but there's a lot of original stuff. And it was built in the 80s. They moved in the 90s.
Something like that.
They moved in the 90s. So, yeah. So anyway, am I allowed to give a little bit of information?
I mean, we keep it real on our podcast.
We do keep it real. So my mother-in-law is recently divorced, and as part of the divorce, she got the house. So I am taking the lead on this project, but it's a us thing. I'm like the manager, and he's like the assistant manager.
I'm the assistant, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm the assistant.
Yeah, so we're just going in there and like we painted all the walls neutral. We power washed the house, all the concrete, the fence. The fence has been power washed and painted and stained. It looks like a brand new fence.
Good.
The deck.
That look crazy good.
Yeah, the deck looks good. We had some trees removed. So yeah, I mean, just replacing
too many
things.
trees.
Yeah.
It was too many unnecessary trees.
Yeah, it's a lot of cosmetic stuff. We had some roof repairs, the leak repair, but mostly cosmetic stuff, and that stuff is adding up because materials, paint can add up, especially when you buy in for the fence. We bought 5 gallons at a time. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. And I'm happy.
I'm happy too. Now, you guys might be listening and be like, all right, well, they got some work done to a house. What's the big deal? Let me tell you guys a couple things, right? First and foremost, like what I've learned through this, and I hope you guys could take away from it too, is that sometimes a little could do a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like just us painting the house and getting the house power washed, it looks like a whole different house. You know what I mean? Paint could do a lot. So if you want to like breathe some fresh air into your living space, like paint it, change the colors, you know what I mean? Move things around a little bit. Get the outside power wash, get the driveway power wash. Like you don't realize like how much dirt and smut and all that type of stuff is like accumulating on your home until you decide to just go get it clean. You know what I'm saying? So just cleaning it was a big thing. Getting the fence done brought so much life to the backyard.
It looked like the nicest house on the street.
Exactly. And it stood out. You know what I mean? I remember being in the backyard. I never really cared to be much in the backyard. There wasn't much to look at. But now I'm looking and I'm like, this is nice out here. And when you start putting a little bit of money and time into something, you could look at it differently. And you don't always have to get something new. You don't always have to change. You just have to improve what you already have. You know what I mean?
Yes.
God blesses us with things. And sometimes we don't take care of it. Or we do take care of it, but time goes by and you need to go and put some love back into it. Whether that's your house, whether that's your car, whether that's your wardrobe, whatever the case may be. You don't always got to start brand new, but you can put a little bit of love back into it and it can feel brand new again. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's what's happened with the house. The other thing I want to touch on, because we keep it very real on our podcast, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind sharing these type of things. It's been a tough time for my mama. I love my mama. But just like a lot of people out there, we go through tough times in life, different things. It could be mental health. It could be physical health. It could be relationships, friendships, relationships with your children, your spouse, whatever the case may be. And my mama's had some tough times over the last couple of years with mental illness and going through a divorce, which is now final. And, you know, really just finding herself in a space where she doesn't feel like she's as good as she used to be. And a lot of y'all could relate to that, whatever it is. Maybe you was fine back in the day in school and everybody wanted your number and now you put on 100 pounds and people would never look your way when you go down the street. And you wake up every day feeling like, I'm all right, but I ain't what I used to be. A lot of people feel like that. How do you deal with that? How do you be excited to go forward in life when you think your best days are behind you? I could relate to that. A lot of people could relate to that. And especially when you add on the layer of making some mistakes in your life that you got to forgive yourself for. So now, not only are you looking at yourself and it's like, hey, I ain't what I used to be. I'm not the best version of myself, but I'm also got to deal with the guilt of like feeling that I'm the reason that it's like this. That's where my mama's being. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important because right now my mama's in an institution, which is hard, but she's turning things around. That's another good thing about this week. We'll talk about that in a second. You know what I'm saying? But it was very important for us to make some changes in the home because this was her marital home for a lot of years. And now she has to come back to it alone. And think about that, yo. If you ever are in a situation where you've been married or, you know, you bought an apartment with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or you guys got a car together, or you guys got a pet together. And now all of a sudden, you still got the same asset or the same thing in your life, but it's now just yours. You don't have that same connection. You don't get to enjoy it with the person that you got it with. We got to change some things. So we didn't want my mama to come home to our house and it look exactly the way it looked like when she was married. Yeah. That was very fundamentally important to try to make it feel like different, new, changed. You know, we ain't changed everything or we ain't had no money.
Well, hold on now. But you know, because we keep it real. Yeah. We have to say we weren't sure if she was going to come back to it.
I'm still not sure.
So, yeah, we also had to make it look nice and pretty for the potential rental. Right, so, right. Yeah.
Now, that's a good point. So, like, with my mama being in a mental institution, like, of course, she has a house that's hers out of her divorce settlement and she can come live in it, but she's going through a tough time in her life. So, we don't really know what was going to happen in the house. Maybe we got to rent it. Maybe we got to have it ready for her, but something has to happen.
Right.
So, we decided to put money into the house to make it better. That way we could rent it, have income for her. That way, even if we had to sell it, maybe the value is up a little bit. And if she wants to live in it, she can have the opportunity to feel like she's got a fresh start or at least some level of a new start. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's really, really important what we did. We're proud of it. It's not finished. But I'm excited also from the fact that she has started to talk a little bit about what the future could look like. And that's been an encouraging thing this week. You know, for anybody that's out there, just like I said, when you're looking in the past and you have regrets and you feel like your best days are behind you or the life that was amazing is behind you and all of those kind of things, turning the page is not an easy thing. A lot of us, our conversations, the things that we think about all the time, whether you're mentally ill or not, the things that are in the past. They're not even present or future. You're thinking about what happened in the past. You're being held down presently by things that happened in the past. Well, at some point you have to kind of try to turn the page and talk about what's today look like. What can tomorrow look like? And this week, she started to do that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I know she talks to you more. I don't know why.
Every day.
She calls you, but I mean, look, when you love somebody, man, you guys have probably been there in different situations, but when you start seeing that little glimmer of hope, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? And you pray that it's something that's going to continue. You acknowledge that you can't do it on your own. That's one thing that we believe, that we can't do these things on our own. God has to come in and make that impact that only he could make. You know what I'm saying? But what's it been like this week, having the conversations you're here with my mama, seeing a little bit of reason to be encouraged? You know what I'm saying? What's that been like?
It's been good. It's been nice. I have it's very interesting because I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, but I feel like for this last 6 months, maybe more, maybe less, but I have really just let go and stopped trying to control things, and hey, I give it to God, which I have been doing from the beginning, but like really, really give it to him and like, you know what? I'm not a professional. Let the professionals help. And she has to do things on her own, you know? So just taking that standpoint and just praying for her, you know, it's amazing to see it start to come full circle. And I will say that through this whole journey, I have shared things with her. And she brought something up today when I was conversing with her. She said, she was like, yeah, I met with my psychiatrist yesterday and I might get out of here sooner than they thought because I'm responding well to this treatment. She was like, and I told him that you told me that you had dreams of me speaking and going back to my regular self, like being, you know, not normal again. I never said normal again, but I was just like, I had dreams. Like I shared with her, I have dreams. Like I see you living a regular life, you know, and I've shared that with her. Like I believe that those dreams were from the Lord. And when we talk about God, I'm like, wow, like God gave me a dream. I shared it with her. I don't know if it was embedded in her, you know, like somewhere in there. Cause I'm like, she don't believe me anyway. You know, when I'm sharing this type of stuff, I'm like, this has no impact. But a lot of times I just take it from the stance of like, well, I did see the dream. I believe she's going to be healed. And even though I can't see in the real world, like how that's going to happen, I had to dream for a reason.
Right.
Like, why would I dream about her living a regular, you know, life? Like, I really believe it was from the Lord. So,
yeah. Well, that's dope. Though.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, and I'm learned through this whole experience with my mama, and this might, you know, transparently, until this happened to my mama, I didn't have an appreciation for mental health. I didn't have an appreciation for true depression and what it could mean and how pervasive of an impact it could have on somebody and their family and their friends. Like, I didn't really have an appreciation for it. And a lot of times you don't know what something is until you go through it. And we're going through it. One thing that you said that's true is, you know, you talked about giving it to God and you're not an expert. Like, a lot of times we're trying to help people, but we're not doing it within our means and doing it the right way. So you could burn yourself out.
Been there, done that already.
And
that was last year.
Right. So like, think about it. Like certain things, like let's say if you got a family member that's a drug addict, you know what I'm saying? Like you can heal them off of the fact that they're addicted to crack or heroin. Like you can't do that. There's nothing you could do, no game you could come up with, no speech you could come up with that's going to have that person automatically not want drugs tomorrow. Like it don't work like that. But you love them so much, you try everything. And we organically like have this feeling that we could make change. And that's because you love the person and you want to make things change. But when you keep trying and it's almost like putting water in a cup that's got a hole in it, eventually you start putting water in it. And you protect yourself and you start doing things like, well, hey, I did what I could do. I can't help this person. And then relationships get severed and you start pulling away. And you got to realize like life is up and down with everything. So it's okay for you to never give up on somebody. Never give up on them. But you have to continue to adjust how you're trying to support them. You know what I'm saying? So I use the example of somebody that's a drug addict in your family. But no, you might not be able to support them and fight for them the way you used to, which is like let them have a room in your house and take them to church and try to change them that way. No, they've been stealing stuff out your baby's freaking dresser for the last year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do it that way. Maybe you got to put them in an institution and pray for them. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't give up on them. You have to change. So like right now, my mama's in an institution because there's certain things that she needs that we can't do. But it's not stopping her from calling you every day and having that connection. And she's actually saying things now that she wasn't saying at all the whole time she was living with us.
Mm-hmm.
But we've adjusted how we're trying to support. And we'll also protect ourselves. So if you don't have it in a certain day, it's not in your face. You call her or you go see her, and then you take the space you need because we're very limited and we're just vessels. Like the message, we always think the message comes from us, but the message don't really come from us. You know what I'm saying? It always comes from a bigger place, whether that's the Lord, whether that's the devil, whether that's good spirits, bad spirits. But like every day, we're just filtering messages to people. And that's the same thing we're doing with our podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're just vessels to get a greater message out there to people. But it doesn't originate for the most part from us. You know what I'm saying? You listen to this inner thoughts that they come, where do they come from? And you share them. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're being better at that. I'm actually more prepared now. If tomorrow the conversation is not the same as it is, I'm more prepared.
Yeah.
Like if tomorrow I speak to my mama and she's on the other thing where it's like no hope and I wish I was what I used to be, like, okay, it's not going to take me down to the dumps like it was like a year ago because I accept that we're part of this battle that is very, very hard to win. And I can't win it on my end and you can't win it on your end. But we do what we could do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to do. Always do what you could do. Get the help that you need. You might feel like a superhero, but you're not a superhero. You know what I'm saying? And even with your kids, you don't have every answer that your kid needs for everything they go through in life. You don't have every answer. You might have a lot of good answers, but you don't have every answer. You know what I'm saying? We got one of the smartest kids that you could ever meet. Our daughter, she's 20. You know what I'm saying? We had an answer for her for years. She didn't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't listen to it. Like we were telling her, hey, look, you should go to university. Like this is perfect for you. Not just because we want you to go to school or anything like that, like go live your life, but we were sitting there knowing where she is in her life and her personality, and we knew how much she would benefit from going to school in regards to growth, no matter what she did with her life. But she did something else. She wanted to do nails. She wanted to do real estate. We support her. We love her. We keep on moving. Somebody else tells her that it's a good idea to go to school. Now she mad excited to go to school. But it's the same message, just a different messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the person that shared it with for that day, it hit a little different. It came across a little different. It doesn't matter. But now she's mad excited to go to school. And what's the most important thing if her going to school is something that's going to benefit her? She got there. A year later, 2 years, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But another vessel came in and got the message through. And that's just how things go. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep tapping in with us. You know, when we're talking about my mama, again, like mental health. If you have anybody in your life that's dealing with mental health issues, don't tell them they crazy. Don't sit here and dismiss them because you don't understand how to handle it or whatever. Pray about it. You know what I mean? Get into the community, even with us, people that's going through this situation. You know what I mean? You're never alone. That's the thing about life. You are alone if you don't speak. You're alone if you don't reach out. But anything that you're going through, somebody's going through with it. And you don't ever have to be alone. It don't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? So find a way to connect with people that's going through that and we could help each other. You know what I'm saying? So if you got anybody that's going through mental health and depression, anybody, of course, lots of people been divorced. More people get divorced than stay married. You know what I'm saying? You got advice for my mama. You got advice for us on how to help her through starting her life over after being married 20 years. Like drop it in the comments. Like I'm humble. Like let us know because we welcome the information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
And
if you got some judgmental comments, I ain't about to respond to you. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not going to respond to you. But if it's in love and you've been through these things, like let us know because that's what the community is about, you know?
Yeah. And no matter who you are and what you're going through, you might have had some good days behind you, but it doesn't mean that your best days are behind you. Every day, like nobody knows what the future holds. So you are important. You're an important part of this thing we call life. And you do matter. You are useful. And God made you with a purpose and a plan. And he numbers your days, not you. So we're not in control of anything, but yeah.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And we be sitting here and we go through these moments in life where it means so much to us. But we in the Bible, I don't know the correct quotes, so none of my Bible scholars get on me, but the Bible does let you know that there's a certain amount of understanding that we have and we don't have. So you might be going through something right now and you're like, this is the best time of my life. This is the best person I could be with. But that's only what you only know what you know. And you don't know if you're still here, you don't know what God has planned for you on the other side. And you don't know if right now you're in something really good, but what he has waiting for you is like great and amazing. And you never know that. And you always got to have faith and you got to trust this process as you go through life and you take things day by day, the good and bad of it. And you just keep on moving because you really never know what's on the other side. You know what I mean? Good or bad, you never know. And that's what makes life challenging. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, another thing I want to tell y'all about this week, you know, sometimes that this probably happens to y'all, but you find yourself giving people advice and then you realize that you're giving advice to yourself. Like you be kind of calling yourself out. So I want to tell y'all something that happened with me, and I'm a soccer coach, and I think y'all will be able to relate to this. Randy's gonna love this because it comes under the word accountability. You know what I'm saying? We can't be sure because I don't want Randy to start flaming me or nothing like that. But anyway, listen, man, I'm coaching my boys, and I was talking to them about accountability to the team and accountability to yourself. We had a soccer game, get y'all to show. We had a soccer game, and I realized within this game, like we were supposed to beat this team probably like 20-0, and we were struggling in the first half, and there was so many players that was trying to do things on the end. They weren't passing the ball to their teammates. And it reminded me of this thing with accountability where whether it's in sports, whether it's in business, whether it's whatever you're doing, accountability builds trust. People trust you and you trust yourself. And when you're not being accountable to your teammates, when you're not being accountable to your partners, it brings a level of distrust. People don't trust you. People don't believe in you. You know what I'm saying? If you think about basketball, if you got somebody on your team that's open all the time, but every single time you pass them the ball for 100 straight games, they miss every single shot. Well, eventually, it don't matter how open they are, you're not going to pass them the ball because you know they getting brick. They're not going to make it. You ain't got to yawn. See, Randy don't like sports. As soon as I start talking about sports, Randy yawning. That's not good, man. But anyway, I was talking to him about accountability, and I started asking him some questions. I started doing some drills that I showed them that they could practice at home. And I said, let me run you through these drills. Let me see who's got it. And a lot of people didn't have it. And I was like, well, what's going on? I asked you guys to practice this stuff at home months ago. You guys should be doing this easily by now. And I was like, well, how many of you guys have really been practicing at least one day a week, half an hour a week? And not that many hands went up. And I said, that's a big problem that we have. I said, we're not being accountable to each other. And I said, it's important that we don't have mistrust start to fall within our team because we don't believe that the next person could do a great job. In a team environment, I need to be able to have something on my plate and give it to you and know you're going to do a good job with it. Vice versa, you need to be able to ask me for help sometimes and know that the quality is still going to be there. I'm going to do a good job with it. What happens if you don't have that trust? You're going to overwork yourself. Things are going to get missed. You see what I'm saying? You're going to overcompensate. And then the trust breaks down even more. And before you know it, this team environment is now separate individuals that just happen to be around each other. So it had me thinking about accountability and how that's my worst word because I'm not accountable enough in my own life. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, I'm telling my players this, and I drove him, and I was like, well, what's happening in my life where I'm not being accountable enough and I'm having people not trust me? And there's one thing that came to my mind. I know you got more, so feel free to jump in, whatever. But the one thing that came to my mind, and it might seem small, but I told y'all my son made this workout program for me. It was a workout and a diet program to get rid of stubborn belly fat. You know what I'm saying? He got all excited, wrote it up on the board, got exercises on one half of the board. He's got my diet, what I'm supposed to be eating on the other half of the board, and we took a picture with it. Well, recently he's been telling me over and over about how much I'm not doing I'm not sticking to my diet and I'm not doing his exercise. He wants me to do it so bad that every day that he sees that I don't do it, he's like, all right, well, that's one more month. Like he's adding months onto my plan. And before you know, it's about to be 3-5 years of back pay to Caleb because I'm not being accountable to this plan they created.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, I'm like, well, he's only 7, but what if it's something that I'm creating where he's watching me literally not come through for him and getting used to that. He's getting used to watching somebody say, I'm going to do this, and I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And
oh boy.
And he's my son. I need him to trust me more than anything. But if he knows that when I say something, it may not happen, trust is being broken. And I don't want my son to look at me as like, I want him to know that every word that I say, I'm accountable for it. You know what I'm saying? And it had me start thinking like, I'm talking to me. I need to be accountable to him for what we did together. Because we're a partnership. You know what I'm saying? He wrote the plan for me. He wrote the diet for me. I'm supposed to do it. His losing trust in me. And the bad part, and I'm going to finish with this, but guess what, yo? Real talk. You might be like, oh, it's a son, it's a diet, it's hard to be healthy. Listen, it's not even that. But how big of it will it be if all of a sudden he stops asking me? If all of a sudden he don't even check in to ask me if I've did the workout? What does that say? He will be tired of being disappointed. Eventually, he's not going to ask if I'm ate the right thing today or why I did it. Eventually, he's going to stop asking because the normal thing is going to be for me to not come through. You feel me? And I say all of this because I want to connect it to what I said about my team. Eventually, the same way that guy's not going to pass the ball to you because he knows you're going to miss. He don't trust you. So my son's not going to ask me if I did the workout because he don't trust me. And it made me really think about that. So y'all, reach out to me, leave comments on the episode going forward, ask me, push on me. You know what I mean? Write a little comment, whatever the case. Hey, Dex, have you been doing Kayla's workout, bro?
Have you?
I haven't. But I need to do it tonight.
I say, when did you notice? Like, when did that?
When I drove him from practice on Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. On
Wednesday night. So I just thought, man, I'm like, I literally just told my team something, but it applies to me. So again, that's the Lord finding his unique ways to use you as a messenger, but also get the message back to you. Because how could I tell my team to be accountable to each other? You know what I'm saying? And realize that trust will be broken. And there's things in my own life that I'm not being accountable for. I know the answer. I got to put the hard work in. There's no difference between me and them. It's hard work. They have to go home and pick up the soccer ball on their own and practice this stuff. Of course, it's easier to watch YouTube. Of course, it's easier to sit off, get on the phone, play video games, whatever's in their life. You see what I'm saying? As a young kid, same thing with me. It's easier for me to lay down, put on the TV, eat some pizza. You know what I'm saying? It's the same kind of environment, just different things. It's always easier to do the easy thing. When you're trying to make yourself better, it's hard. So I want y'all to make sure I'm accountable. Now, Randy, let me bring you back in. What else am I not accountable for? Because I see...
No, I'm not going to go there. No, I was thinking about myself, too.
No, I want to hear about you. Like, really, accountability. That's what we're talking about.
That's all. I was just thinking, what are the areas in my life where I could use some accountability?
Well, just give me one.
In my life?
Just one, yeah. It ain't got to be full self-exposing today. You give a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just one.
Like meals.
Okay.
And the first thing that came to mind was the business, Quiet Money Corp.
What you mean?
I'm inconsistent.
Why you think that is?
Because oftentimes I'll wait till I feel like doing something. That's it.
And that don't come all the time.
But the thing is, though, most of the time I don't feel like doing anything. But I can talk myself into doing it if I think about consistency.
Yeah.
Like I have 2 goals right now that I'm working on. One is consistency and one is self-discipline. So like when we went out to eat for lunch, I don't know if you noticed, I had like 2 or 3 slithers of bread.
I saw you.
Yeah. So I'm just, that's my discipline. If I was really disciplined, though, maybe I wouldn't have any.
Yeah, but it's better than going ham and having
to
bring it back 2-3 times.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, those are my 2 things: consistency and the self-discipline that I've really been working on, like for the last couple of months. So yeah. So when we talk about accountability, that would help with consistency if I had that. So, but you were supposed to be helping me with the business. What happened?
Lack of accountability. I mean, I'm just saying, waiting to feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Laziness. Like, we guys keep it real with y'all. Like, we're doing really well in a lot of things in life, but we struggle too. Like, and y'all, I'm sure y'all can relate to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to be burnt out. So
True.
I've been there before, and I don't want to. And I'm concerned because there's like so many moving parts in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. The other thing, though, and we got to be careful with this. All of us got to be careful with this. And it happens to us all, but like, you don't want to be that person that just talks a good game. You know what I mean? I know you probably met people that they talk real well. I've been there. Like, they say the right things. They got all the answers. Like, they talk a real good game. We deal with this in business sometimes where like people talk it, but they don't really walk it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be that person that's saying all the right things and everything sounds good. But when you look under the surface and look at the details, it don't even match what you're saying. And one of the things that can help with that is accountability, because we have great ideas. You know what I'm saying? We get great advice from people. We learn things. But if we don't put it into practice, whether you're a good person or not, whether it's your intention or not, you just become this person that says a lot, but don't really do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
That reminds me.
I knew. Drop it. It's so good. We gonna transition to business real quick.
Yeah.
Randy had an experience this week just like that.
I sure did. So actually we talked about it on the last episode when we were talking about the men in the office.
Oh yeah. This is the one that just dropped by behind. Not the one that Randy was, having a little incognito conversation on the parking lot and he disappeared in thin air. We're not talking about him, but this guy that just randomly popped into our office at the same time Randy did. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. And I've talked about this before on the podcast, but we've had free consultations in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And because of, I don't even know this guy, but because I see him in the building, I felt like, dang, maybe I shouldn't charge, whatever. But then I said, no. Every time I don't charge somebody or every time I deviate from the process, that's what it is. I said, every time I deviate from the process, I wish I wouldn't have. Like, there's always a problem. So, last week he said he wanted to counter services. I had our admin send him the email, and you have to pay to get on the schedule just like everybody else. Okay. Because I kind of got the feeling that he was full of it. And I got the feeling because we were talking. And it's like every time he see me, he want to talk about his business. And, oh, we doing this. We got this $50 million grant, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, 50 million? Okay.
50 mil.
Right.
That's a big number.
Yeah. And there was something about this tax credit and development. And can you help me with this, that, and the other? And I'm just like, and he was like, oh, I told you about the software. Did you look into the software that I told you about? I said, you're not my client. You're not my client. Right, like, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said some other stuff. He was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out about this tax credit for research and development. And he was like, I'm trying to see if I could sell it, for this, that, and the other. But then why would anybody want to buy a tax credit? And how does that work? And I was like, the only reason you would sell your tax credit, this is just me, just regular conversation. The only reason you would sell your tax credit is to get some cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would offset the expenses that you got from the cash flow. And hopefully, it would zero out. Anyway, so we talking all this business stuff. And I'm like, Dexter, I get the feeling he's full of it. So anyway, the admin sends him the link. And Lord, if he listening, hey, sorry.
It's all good.
This is my initial impression. Because if we do business, my bad. But anyway.
Just keeping it real. This is where we're at today.
This is where we are at today on episode 48.
And you're not a client, so we ain't shame. Get it right. We don't shame none of our clients. This is all in the atmosphere of not even potential. This is just some ish that happened. Go back ahead.
Okay. So as part of our vetting process to get on the calendar, there's a questionnaire that must be filled out. Mm-hmm. So we ask you about your business, your finances, your projections, like what are your goals? Because before we get on a call, we want to be prepared because you're going to pay us for our time and it has to be valuable. Like we're not trying to sell you. We're really trying to see if we can work together and if we can help you. So sent them the link. Then I ran into him like 3 days later. Maybe. And he was like, I saw the I saw the calendar. I'm going to get on there. You know, I'm like, okay. And then he's trying to start talking to BS to me. I'm like, look, I got a call I got to get on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I seen him on the elevator yesterday. He ain't said nothing.
That's crazy.
He ain't said nothing.
Nothing.
I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk business now because it's about the cost, buddy.
Because
Like,
it's a fee.
Yeah, but imagine if deviated from the daggone process and was like, oh, let me go ahead and meet with him in the conference room, blah, 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 blah. It would have been a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
And my time is so valuable because literally, like, I work 4 hours a day. And I'm proud to say that.
Hey, yeah, that is your schedule.
I work 4 hours a day, so I have to cram a lot into my 4 hours.
Right.
And I'm going to do a day in the life of me so that people can really see
what you do,
what I be doing over here.
Hold on. Let's put it in the right context. You might officially have 4 working hours in a day, but Randy starts working as soon as her eyes open in the morning. And as soon as my eyes halfway open, she wants to start talking about business and things we could be doing and all that. So I will say she works more than 4 hours a day because she just wakes up just ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good though. And if I ain't ready to talk about it, she goes, well, I thought 6 to 6:30 a.m.
That's my time.
It's our time
6
for
and
us to
6:30.
talk. If I can't talk to you now, then I might supposed to talk to you. You're just making me want to shut down.
Why you put my business out there on the streets
That's
like
our
that?
business. That's how you be. That's how you be, though. You know what I'm saying?
That is because I wake up with a lot on my mind. But I have gotten better because we always embrace.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I can say it now, because it's light.
Yeah, I do wake up with a lot on my mind, and I do like to use those hours. Sometimes I like to get it out. And Dexter likes to shut me down.
I don't like to shut it down. You guys know how it is in the morning. You know what I mean? Your eyes ain't even open yet. Everything's not moving yet, you know what I mean? And then somebody's just asked you a whole bunch of technical questions. Sometimes the response is not what it needs to be, but we get through it and it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good.
And when I realize that you feel like, let's give me credit, when I do recognize that you feel like you're being shut down, I apologize. I do.
You do. You've been amazing.
I do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my intention. I know how I be. Especially if I'm got a light day or I'm off or whatever, I don't want to do nothing. That's a whole nother thing. But you know
we're
what?
not gonna go there. But
yet you say your time's.
sorry.
You say your time's valuable. Like that's a big thing. Like a lot of people don't really recognize. Like, look, like it's a confidence thing. It's putting the work in to know that you're good.
Speaking of that, I have something else to share.
Oh, what's up?
So,
you got mad excited.
Yes, because I am. So for some of y'all, old listeners might know, but the new ones don't know this. But last year during tax season, I took a part-time seasonal tax job. And they are bringing me back for the 2024 tax season. And I have been promoted.
Congratulations.
Thank
I feel like
you.
we need some type of ad-lib horns or something. Randy got... I know, we need something. That's all right. We leave that for another time. We got this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, go ahead about that.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when they first brought up the role, it was about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they called and they were asking if I was interested. But this role, it moves me from being, I'm a tax expert, but I'm a tax expert on individual taxes. So I do, 1040s, individual taxes, and then the Schedule C's, which are the small businesses, LLCs, sole proprietorships, Schedule E's, rental properties, Schedule D's, capital gains, Schedule A's, itemized deductions, those type of things. I'm an expert. Hit me up. But they were looking for a tax expert on the business side, which is partnerships, S corps, 990s, non-for-profits. Is that all? I'm thinking tax forms in my head.
I don't know.
1120, 1120S,
Randy excited.
1065, 990s.
Yeah,
okay.
This is Randy's
That's the business tax forms. So anyway, they were looking for a tax expert on the business side. And they asked me if I was interested in the role. And I'm like, well, I'm interested, but I don't want it to be the main thing because I really like working on the individual level. So that's the first connection that I had. So I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. So then a couple weeks later, somebody else called me like, yeah, we're reviewing your profile and, we really would like to interview you for this tax expert for businesses. And I'm like, well, mostly as an individual for my business, we do prepare business returns, but our main, what do you call them? Group Yeah, I don't.
Whatever.
Yeah, our main clients are
Individuals.
our individuals.
Yeah.
Usually, they have a business or run a property or something like that. So I shut that down. Then somebody else called, hey, and I'm like, okay, what is going on here? What is it? So anyway, I did the interview because they gave some incentives that the other people had mentioned before. So I love a good incentive, but every year they give a tax bonus. So because I'm a business expert, I get a bigger bonus. And I'm like, oh, okay.
More money. Gotta love that. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
And then my busy time is through March 15th. Not April 15th. And I'm like, oh, that's a little different. They ain't tell me all that. So, and it comes with more money, not just bonus, but the hourly stuff. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I could do an interview. So anyway, I did the interview, and the interview is a mix of like, they ask you a lot of technical questions. So it'll be like, they ask you a question on a screen. They give you 30 seconds to research it. And then you have to present the answer on video. And I like it. But anyway, I was like, a lot of stuff I didn't have to do the research for. So I was like, oh, I think I got this. I got this. And I'm so confident now. Like, I feel like when I'm being interviewed, my personality shines through. And I'm not even saying I have a real big personality, but I think you can see authentically who I am. So that's what happened. I got the job.
Hey, yo, do you see how excited? Hold on, I got to jump in real quick. You see how excited she got about just talking about taxes?
No.
That's why y'all need to reach out to Basden Accounting. Seriously, like, she loves this stuff. You know what I mean? She's a real agent. She's the highest credentials that you could get for taxes. And she loves to find a saving. She loves to find a way to save you guys money. And if I'm right, I'm not going to say the name, but this additional work that you're doing, this additional job and promotion that you got, this is for a company where people do self-service taxes, right? Am I right?
You can do your own taxes.
They can do that, but don't they reach out to the company to get help with?
They can reach out to the company for help, or we can do it for you.
So guess what, yo? Let me tell y'all something. It may happen to you, but you might be listening to this and say, well, let me reach out to Basden Accounting and work with Randy, and you know what I mean? You might end up saying, well, nah, I'm gonna go do it myself. Well, when you need help and you call that helpline number, you might end up talking to Randy anyway. That's the crazy part, because she's that good that she's doing it in the business, but she's also working somewhere else and helping people that are trying to do it on their own. So it may be no escaping Randy.
Yeah, no escaping.
Like she's the expert that's helping those people that are even trying to do it on the end. And she's doing it for people through this company. And she's leading the tax practice at Basden Accounting. Like,
yeah, but
you're doing it, man.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
You're really doing it for real.
I'm very excited about the opportunity to learn all the different tax stuff, because I know a lot. But like I said, majority of our clients are individuals. And I'm not going to say I have a little bit of businesses, but that business pool is definitely not as large.
But you know that adds to why you're so good, you know.
I know.
No, seriously, I want you to hear me out. One of the things that actually make you so good is the fact that you're willing to go to clients and be like, look, there's always something more that I could learn. Like, that's the way you do it. Like, of course, you're an expert in all of that. But you don't sit there and be like, well, I know it, I'm the best, come to me. Like, you're always in this humble aspect where there's more regulation you can learn. There's conferences you could go to. You're looking at your new job opportunity, not just as, oh, I'm going to take all my skills there and just kill it. Like, you're talking about ways that you're going to learn from it. So, like, we could be experts at anything in our life, but like, everybody who is an expert stays an expert because they continue to make themselves better. And you got to be humble to know, like, there's still more information for me to learn. There's still ways for me to improve. And I think that adds to you being the best, because you're looking at this job and it's not just about the money. You're going to become better at something that you're passionate about. And you get to bring that to your business too.
Yeah.
And I think in my opinion, from what I see, I think that excites your image just as much as the money.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
I would say it's not even the money that excites me. It is basically what you just said. And I enjoy learning from people. Oh, I've been doing taxes 30 years. Oh, well, shoot. And a lot of people they're entrepreneurs as well. They have their own business, but they come and they help this company. they make something on the side. I love that I get retirement, like a seasonal part-time job that offers retirement. For every dollar I put in, they put in $1.25. Come on now. Me? Savings? Retirement? Yes, I'll do it. So I'm excited for how I'm going to be able to help my clients even more.
That's what's up.
So, and it gives me confidence too, because I'm not just doing like the local Maryland, DC, and Virginia state taxes on the business level. I'm going to hit every state. And that's what happened last year on the individual level.
Yeah.
I hit a lot of states.
Hey, but you know that, and again, God's always in the background maneuvering and working his hand. But like, I remember whether it was last year or 2 years ago, you know, we have a lot of individual clients, but you would say like, I wish we did more business returns. You know what I'm saying? You wanted us to have more business returns as a company. It may turn into this, I don't know, but this might just be one other way to open the door where you get even more of the kind of work that you really want to do. You never know, you know what I'm saying? Because God could be there getting you even more prepared for what's on the horizon that you don't even see. You know what I'm saying? So right now you're saying, hey, you know, Basden County, your business right now has more individual than businesses. You never know, out of this experience, maybe it evens up. Maybe it starts turning the other way. Maybe you end up doing more business returns. Like, we get put in these environments and we think it's for one thing, but it could be for something greater. And that's the good part about having faith and believing that there's things that are bigger than you. So you just go there with the right attitude, like you have, you know what I'm saying? And you benefit from the experience, but you never know what it's ultimately going to do for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's dope. And I'm glad that I'm not how I used to be, where I can support you. I don't think you're taking away from the business. I don't think you're taking away from this. Like, I always want to support what you're doing because I feel like that's my job as your partner and your husband and your friend. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's going to be an interesting season because we have a lot going on in the business. So, but hopefully, you know, your mom will be home and hopefully she can help. Yeah.
Now, you said something about retirement, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit more detail probably on the next podcast, if I remember. You know what I'm saying? Because I be saying that, and then the next podcast be something way different. But whatever, the Lord's in control, is all good. But one thing this week, talking about retirement, real brief, is that we had a really good meeting with a company where I would say, re-engaged in that challenging but important conversation about your future. You know what I mean? Planning for your future, both financially, both personally, like thinking about the fact that you're not going to be here forever. And do you have your affairs in order? Do you have things in place where your kids are not left with problems, but they're left with solutions? You know what I mean? They're left with assets. They're left with opportunities. Like, yes, we want to live life and enjoy it for ourselves, but when you have a family, when you have kids, when you have something that is called like legacy that you like, when you have something that you want to plan for the benefit, when you're no longer able to physically do it, you have to start thinking different. And we had a really, really good conversation with a company talking about where are we and where do we want to go. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was very eye-opening to see, you know, where are we with insurance? Where are we with our goals for wealth building? Like, when do we want to retire? You know what I'm saying? What do we want left over for our kids? You know what I'm saying? How do we want our retirement years to look like? You know what I'm saying? How do we want to build assets? Like, how much money do we ultimately want to be making now and in the future? You know, we had a really good conversation, and I'll stop it there because I just want to encourage you guys, like, take that time to plan for your future. Make sure your affairs are in order. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that all this hard work, all of this stress that you go through every day, all of this time, all of this hours, what is it worth in the long run? Are you just paying for an experience, or are you paying for the longevity of your bloodline, yourself, the people you love? And it takes planning. Everything takes planning. And the good thing is that these kind of things you don't have to do on your own. You know what I'm saying? When things are tough, you don't have to do it on your own. So reach out to people. You can reach out to us, but you're sitting there and you don't got a wheel in place. You don't got a trust in place. You don't know if you got enough insurance. You don't know if you got a GoFundMe waiting for your kids, or if you got funds waiting for your kids. Like, leave us a comment. Like, we might be able to help you at least get started on on what you need to be thinking about. You know, we're not retirement experts. That's why we went to another company to help us with that. But you need to start having these conversations. Don't wait till you're sick to have these conversations. Don't wait till something happens to have these conversations. Like, always plan for things and then you'll be ready. And that's just like with anything in life. Make sure you do the planning. And we'll probably talk some more about that. But I'm glad we had that conversation. We got a lot to think about. You know what I mean? And I know that you're going to feel better to know that our house is truly in order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not just currently, but everything that we're doing is all going to mean what it should mean. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to have the impact that it should have the impact. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to do the right planning with that. So that was a good thing this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last but not least, yo, I'm legal again. I'm legal again. I'm legal again. Hear me? That's what we're going to call this episode. I'm legal again. Straight up. Well, we might not call it that. But listen, yo.
If you want me to, I can.
I'm legal again. Listen, I'm from the island of Bermuda. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a U.S. citizen. Not yet. I'm still thinking about it. That's a whole nother story. But listen, since April of 2023, I've been a quote-unquote illegal. I tried to renew my green card. They said that they mailed it. Didn't come. Had to go apply all over again. Went through many calls and meeting people in person. And it's been like the most stressful situation over a year and a half, to the point that when the notification came in my email 2 days ago to say that it had been delivered to my post office box, I didn't even believe it. I had to see it to believe it. My doubts were there. You guys know what it's like when you've been burnt. You have to feel it. You got to see it. And a whole year and a half of stress has turned into something beautiful. I got my green card yesterday. I feel great. Now I could travel internationally again. I can go back here into Bermuda, take care of some business. Thank you, Lord. You know what I'm saying? And I'm legal, y'all. I'm legal.
Congratulations.
I'm legal again.
Yes, congratulations.
You know what I'm saying? We went through hell and high water to get this green card renewal. And anybody that's listening to this, y'all, if y'all been through the green card process, anything to do with immigration and all that, oh my gosh, it is not easy, but I'm just so glad that I got through the other side. Randy sent me the picture of the green card. She opened the mail, and that just made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here with y'all. I'm legal again. And
all right.
To the next time, we really appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow the Dex and Randi Show. Again, this is the #1 show for going through the ups and downs of life. We keep it real on our podcast, from everything: family, money, relationships, friendships, challenges, good times, bad times. We talk about that. We create a community to do that. We love y'all. We appreciate everybody that listens to our podcast. We are approaching episode 50, a milestone episode. We started from just an idea and a feeling and a passion and a calling. And now, just like that, we're about to be at a milestone 50th episode. If you haven't followed our podcast, make sure you follow us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can follow us on YouTube. Follow the Dex and Randi Show on Instagram. Shoot us a comment. Shoot us some love. Share the podcast. Till next time. Peace. Make sure you follow the Dex and Randi Show on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. Let us know what you're going through. This is the #1 show for going through the ups and downs of life. We want to hear from you, engage with you. Till next time, peace.